本期视频是意大利经济发展部副部长麦克·杰拉奇近日参加油管一档访谈节目的节选。作为意大利加入“一带一路”倡议的推动者和中意“一带一路”合作谅解备忘录的起草人之一，杰拉奇谈到为什么要推动意大利参加“一带一路”，以及对意大利最终以最不可接受的方式无厘头般退出“一带一路”，表达了自己的不解和遗憾。我们看看他是怎么说的吧。
First question, can you tell us more about how you were instrumental in Belt and Road in Italy?
We were at the point back in 2018 where Italy business with China was lagging that of France, Germany, UK, even Switzerland, even Ireland sells more food and beverages to China than Italy does. We don't have large companies. We don't have Siemens, BMW, Airbus, and so we thought we need to do something else to bring our Italian companies at par with the French and German competitors. So one way to do it was to engage at a higher level with China and show our interest in being part of the Belt and Road, which is something about Italy and China between us, but it's also between Italy and the other 150 countries in the Belt and Road. So we wanted to be part of this largest program that is about the development of infrastructure around the world, the biggest infrastructure program in mankind. Mm-hmm. So why not join? And by the way, also helping our companies to try to get some business in all these various projects. So for me, it was a very easy decision to make. I'm glad I managed to persuade the Prime Minister, the President of Italy as well, and all our members in Cabinet that was indeed a good thing for our companies and show awareness that growth and opportunities were also, and maybe more so, in the global south, not just within Europe or United States, which we will, of course, continue to want to do business with, but not solely. We also need to, it's like keep the core business with our strong European partners, US, but also look at growth in other areas, and we needed to do early.
Can you tell us more about the details of the actual negotiations and the process that you went through?
Negotiation was interesting because it went on for several months. The output is the agreement, a memorandum of understanding, 7 pages of a document that I actually, together with the Italian ambassador and my colleague in government, we actually negotiated word by word to make sure also that the language was very close to our, let's say, European values. So we do have things like level playing field, reciprocity, climate, in line with the UN Charter. So I thought in this practical negotiation of the language, we also did a good service to the world in a way to bring China to a different level of standards that is maybe what is more accepted by the so-called European international community. So in a way, our MOU was a first step that then we wanted to make available also to other countries. So setting a good starting point for other countries also to join. And indeed, days after, both Switzerland and Luxembourg also joined the Belt and Road on the back of our initial agreement.
And were the discussions before held within the European Union, or it was more like we go first and the rest then we'll see will follow or not?
We go first. So we wanted to be leader in this process. Every time we discuss with the European Union, we get into
trouble?
No trouble. Mud. The things don't get done, regulations, agreement, consensus and stuff like that, which are good for certain things. But I remember we are in Europe partners but competitors.
Yes.
One more bottle of Italian wine in China is one bottle less of French wine in China. So we did on purpose not engage with our European competitors, and we wanted to be first. And that was, in my view, one of the key selling points for our companies, to have Italy being leading this process. And therefore, when you are first, you get some credit with the Chinese counterpart.
Yeah. I can imagine that because it was the first European country who joined the initiative, And of course, China is very good at making very big strategic theoretical concepts. Europe are not used to that very much, but they have very big ideas and dreams. So I think from Chinese side, they must be very happy that you were the first European to sign up. I think, were these engagements easy or was it more difficult? Because I think for them, there was an eagerness to get something done at that time.
It was easy in a way because China, of course, did appreciate that we were the first G7 country to sign it. There were other European countries, but smaller countries. All good countries, of course, but not large economies. And the fact that Italy is not just the G7, but a $2 trillion economy with a lot of skills in those areas that China needs, infrastructure development, construction, railway, signaling, stuff like that, agricultural machinery. It was not just a political statement, but also something that could have led to real practical cooperation between Chinese and Italian companies together to develop those regions of Asia and Africa.
So in your opinion, because Italy has pulled out now, last year I think it was.
Yes.
It was a political decision.
One of the worst decisions that my government could have made. It's completely boomerang.
So you answered my question already. So it was, in your opinion, a bad decision. Why was the decision being made, do you think?
I've asked directly the Prime Minister, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, their staff. No one has given me an answer. They just go round and round in circle to showing that they don't really understand what the Belt and Road is about, or they did take the decision lightly, without thinking, without doing the proper analysis, maybe dismissed it as if it was some kind of, yes, it's an agreement, we don't understand, let's stop it. They don't understand, let me make this straight for people who listen. Italy exited, the Italian government, Meloni, exited the Belt and Road on the 10th anniversary of the launch of the project.
The 10th anniversary?
Yes, it was launched in 2013 in Kazakhstan, the University of Nazarbayev, and so 2023 is the 10th anniversary.
Okay.
Almost to the day, in November, my Prime Minister decided to exit on the 10th anniversary of a project that is one of the dearest projects to the President of China,
Yes.
and being the first and so far only country in the world to ever exit the Belt and Road. Let me ask you back, do you think that is a good idea, a good decision to do that?
It's a milestone for sure. I'm
On.
not sure if it's good or bad.
So I'm very worried because this will seriously impact the commercial relation between our two countries. And there, in Italy, they don't have this consciousness of how serious this is. And I give you also a Kafkain point, very surreal. A few weeks ago, the Minister of Trade of China was invited to a business forum in Italy to be told that Italy was going to exit the Belt and Road, the Silk Road. And he was invited in Venice, the city of Marco Polo. So Italy not only exited the Belt and Road, but Italy is the depository of the terminal of the Belt and Road for 2,000 years, from the Roman Empire, then into Marco Polo. So it's completely not easy to understand for the Chinese counterpart to say, you guys are the country of the Roman Empire, the country of Marco Polo, and you exit the Belt and Road. You don't want to be part of the new modern Silk Road, in addition to the political things that I mentioned before, that it's not a good idea to refuse something that is a positive opportunity for companies without any obligation.
When the government pulled out, you are living in Shanghai, you're a professor at university here. What did you have any feedback from, let's say, old friends you had in the Chinese government because of relations you had in the old days, or just Chinese people? They say, why is this? Was there any reaction at all from Chinese side that you are aware of?
I'm aware of the reaction from the Chinese side of why did you do it? Didn't understand it. And this was the result of the Italian government not really being able to articulate a logical answer for the exit. So, of course, there were stories in the media. We exited because the US asked the Italian government to exit. But I don't think that is true, because I'll give you my personal experience. I was in government when I wanted Italy to join the Belt and Road, and the United States never told me, Michele, you must not enter the Belt and Road. Yeah, they were asking questions, a little bit of comments, so Michele, explain it to us, but never they dare to tell me, a sovereign state, what we should do.
But that was in the days when, of course, U.S. and China were still relatively okay.
No. This is 2019.
19, okay,
3
yes.
years of Trump tariff, 200%, 200 billion. So it was already in a trade war that really started in 2016 with Trump. So we were well into that. And yet the United States, I think out of respect for sovereignty of Italy, and maybe I would, if I may say, out of respect for the logical way that we approach the debate. So with numbers, Excel spreadsheet, I went to the White House to say, this is why we think Italy should join the Belt and Road. You know, at the beginning, they were like, no, you probably should have told us before, but, you know, we saw the numbers. Okay, we kind of understand it. Now, it's very hard for me to believe that me, as a simple Undersecretary of State, managed to fend off pressure from the United States and articulate the reason and have it accepted. They don't need to accept it, but they kind of nodded. And yet now my current Prime Minister does not manage to do the same, her being of a much stronger standing than I. So the Chinese probably would have preferred if Prime Minister of Italy had said, sorry, I need to exit because Washington wants me to do so.
Yes.
That would have been not completely acceptable, but a logical explanation.
Would be a good excuse.
It was a good excuse, and the Chinese would have said, okay, we understand that you are not a sovereign state, and you do what other countries tell you. Sorry, we understand. But not even that. So your question, how did the Chinese take it? They still don't know why we did it. In fact, no one knows. Not even my Prime Minister knows why we exited.